Good morning everybody, or should I say, sorry, I'll say good afternoon. Good afternoon everybody. My name's Ian McDonald, I'm a Group Controller for Hawke's Bay Civil Defence Emergency Management Group. Here today, we just want to talk to you, give you a bit of an update as to where we're at in terms of our cyclone response 2 weeks in. And with me today we have two of the region's mayors, Alex Hawke from Central Hawke's Bay, Sandra Hazelhurst, who is the Mayor of Hastings. We also have the Chair of Ngāti Kahungunu, Baden, and we also have an iwi Controller, Henry Hawke, Superintendent Jeanette Park from New Zealand Police, and Steve Ham from the Ministry of Primary Industries is happy to answer any questions if there's any about rural matters. Look, first of all, I'll just start with an update on some operational aspects of the current situation that still are feeling the impacts of this event. The heavy rain in some parts of our region are still vulnerable, and the weather is still impacting on this response. This is a multi-agency response which is being coordinated here by the Hawke's Bay Civil Defence Emergency Management Group in partnership with iwi, who are enabling many aspects of this response. It involves our emergency services, all of our council resources, New Zealand Defence Forces, our lifelines or critical infrastructure, a huge number of volunteers and locals who have stood up community hubs in their own areas and are still cut off. The Regional Council has been working really hard to repair stock banks and reinstate some of the telemetry which measures the level of our rivers. Unison and Waka Kotahi and council roading contractors are making good progress with reinstating essential services and road links, but this will take time in the worst affected areas and is impacted by ongoing weather. We have delivered hundreds of Starlink internet connections and over 180 generators to isolated communities as an interim measure. Some of our rural communities are still isolated, and I just want to acknowledge those. There are too many to list here, and we've been making deliveries of essential supplies using both defence assets and civilian helicopters. This is all coordinated through our hub at the showgrounds, but again, this coordination effort and the delivery of supplies is impacted by ongoing weather. In terms of the ongoing welfare, I'm actually pleased to tell you that we are opening a free call helpline to make it easier for people in Hawke's Bay to have their needs assessed and to get assistance more quickly. We've been operating essentially a community level needs assessment. We've been delivering rapid relief over the last 2 weeks. We now want to move into dealing with people's individual concerns. This number will operate 7 days a week, and it's in partnership between multiple welfare providers to ensure that everyone who calls will have access that suits the needs of all cultures in our region, and in particular our Te Ao Māori communities, with translation services included. This helpline is specifically for welfare needs such as health, well-being, including mental health, accommodation needs, ongoing food, household goods and services support, animal welfare and rural support. This line is not for financial support, and people, if they require that, should contact MSD directly. We appreciate the support of Te Whatu Ora, whose trained call centre staff will be taking calls on the new 0800 number. We'll be releasing the number and further details this afternoon. I just want to acknowledge that the last 2 weeks have been hugely frustrating for everybody involved, whether it be community or first responders or the people coordinating the emergency response. It's been a really challenging 2 weeks, I'd have to say, but I think we are making progress, and this 0800 number and the coordination around that is one example of that progress. Unfortunately, the weather is not helping, and look, we will continue to work on access issues, power, and those sorts of things as best we can. But I just want to reassure everybody that everybody is throwing all of their resources at this, and you know, we will get through this. So at this stage, I'd like to hand over to Baden Barber, who is the chair of Ngāti Kahungunu.
Kia ora tātou, ko Baden Barber tōku ingoa. Hea mana o Ngāti Kahungunu, Baden Barber is my name, and I'm the chair of Ngāti Kahungunu Iwi Incorporated. Just to say to our whānau that are out there that might be listening, there's support there, there's help there. We have an 0800 number that's just been released today. Call it if you need welfare help. But we've done all our iwi, hapu, mana whenua groups, our tai whenua have been working around the clock to support our whānau. And especially our whānau in Māori communities, they've been ravaged. Pōrangahau, Omahu, Waiohiki, Tāngoio, Mōtio. And so we've been able to support them by standing up marae welfare hubs. Tihei Mauri Ora has had a huge role at the regional welfare hub, and Henry Hawke has been coordinating that on our behalf. But we continue to work closely with the councils and CEDM. We continue to work closely around welfare, the immediate response, but we're also starting to look now at the rebuild and how we start to recover some of our areas. We have a couple of Māori ministers in town today, and we'll be talking a little bit later on this afternoon and tomorrow. But that's to ensure that the rebuild does not forget our badly impacted Māori communities, many of whom don't have a home to sleep in, many of whom don't have jobs to go back to. So the economic recovery plan, we're starting to talk about that too, because many of our whānau, they work in horticulture, and that's been decimated. They work in primary industry, that's been decimated as well. So meetings are starting to happen around how we recover those industries. But I just want to mihi to all our partners that are standing behind me, because we have to do it together. And the partnership that has kind of come out of this disaster, it's one of the benefits, one of the advantages, or the hua that have come forward is around working together and trying to coordinate things together. So a big mihi to them. But I just want to assure our people, Ngāti Kahungunu people, all our hapu and marae that have been devastated, we're here to help. Your tai whenua, your PSGs are here to help. Your hapu and your marae are here to help. And kei tonu te iwi, hei tai tūra mā koutou tēnei wā pauri taumaha. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katia. Kia ora.
Kia ora, my name's Henry Hawke. I'm the iwi controller. Just like to endorse the sentiments that have been passed on by our iwi chair, but also just to confirm that the role that we're playing is a culturally appropriate and responsive one across the whole network of our partners, and that we continue to gather in correct intel from our networks and our marae, our whānau, our hapu out there, because that's really important. I don't have too much more to share. Our chair has already passed on the information, but I'm happy to take part or questions later on. Tēnā koutou.
Kia ora tātou. Just to say, delighted that this 0800 number has been set up. In the Heritonga Hastings, our district has 10 isolated rural communities, and we have about 21 pockets of our rural community that we know we have to make sure they've got everything that we need. This is about not leaving anyone behind, making sure everybody is cared for and looked after, and that's been our mantra over the last 2 weeks. There is some incredible work. This morning I've been to Puki Tapu, a new community hub has been set up. The community is standing up, and with the help and support of the wider group, everybody leaning in and making sure that people have the information. We have about 1,000 people out on the roads with 100 crews clearing our slips from our roads, clearing roads, moving silt to the side, or in some parts where there's been issues with waste, making sure that silt is taken away. There is all a collection of household waste that has now been collected up from our most vulnerably hit areas. Our community is anxious actually. This rain doesn't help, and we've had a lot of rain hit our high country overnight. The Tipuhui, areas like that, who have now been exposed again. So it's constant, it's going to take us a long time. We are grateful for our community's patience, and we know that all our araha is out there for everyone, and thank you for the amazing community-led responses. You guys are doing an outstanding job, and thank you to the coordination of Civil Defence Emergency Management. We have the support of the Defence Force, and we might need some more, and that's our conversation with the ministers. We need our drains cleared. With this rain, people have their properties flooded again. So we need that support from the Crown, the Army, to help move some of the silt that's built up in all of our waste, our areas of in our Pakawai community and communities like that who we haven't been able to get to yet. So it's a big job, it's a big recovery, and we're all in this together. Kia ora.
Kia ora koutou katoa, ko Alex Walker, toko ingoa, ko kura mātua te rohi o Tamatea, Central Hawke's Bay. My name is Alex Walker, I'm the Mayor of the Central Hawke's Bay District. And my message today is that across the Hawke's Bay region we have got very diverse communities, so we've got very diverse impacts on our households and our businesses and our farms and our producers. And it's really important that we are coordinating together as a Hawke's Bay region, and that is what we are doing. It means that across our households and businesses, whether you see someone in a military uniform or you see someone in a civil defence vest, or you see someone who is a water contractor for a council, or you see someone from Tihei Modiora, we are all working together in what is civil defence action right across the Hawke's Bay region. Particularly to my Central Hawke's Bay community, who this rain overnight has continued to isolate more people, it has closed roads, it has created more significant structural issues on our roading network and cutting more people off. We continue to reach out to look after you and understand that those situations are changing and that it's causing stress for everybody. We'll continue to work to restore those roading routes as best that we can, and we continue to deliver welfare support. In particular, I want to recognise our communities at Wakarara and Guapas who have been cut off by road, who are being looked after. I also want to thank the community of Porangaho at the coast, who in partnership with Ngāti Keri community leadership has seen incredible action out in Porangaho. And I also want to mention the communities around Elsthorpe, Patangata and Omakari, who the changing situation of their bridges and roading connections means that on a daily basis their situation is changing, and I want to thank them for their patience and for their resilience as we continue to deal with this. We are going to have to be patient as we rebuild. This is big. We're dealing with about 17 major structural issues closing roads at the moment, and it's going to take some time and some patience as we work through that, but we have our priority isolated communities. Thank you all for your support. Ngā mihi.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Jeanette Parker Ho, Eastern District Police Commander. Today is day 15 of the devastating cyclone that hit us all those days ago and hit the entire Eastern District. From our point of view and where we're at now, our non-contactable people that we've been looking for tirelessly, I can say now that yesterday we announced we had 5, today we have 3. So we are working extremely hard. Our teams are lifting every rock. Nothing is left unturned in order to locate people and get them back to their loved ones. For the people that we are looking for, the important thing for me is please, if you are aware we are looking for you, come forward. Any support that we can provide you, any assistance that we can provide you, please come forward and see us, because we won't stop looking. We need to locate you, so if you are aware, please come forward. You can come to a police station, you can see one of our teams. We've got staff working right across the district, or via the 10-5 line. Also, for the family of Joseph Ahuriri, who is sadly still, we have not been able to locate. And I know for his family it's extremely distressful, and it's really hard time for them. So if anybody has any information in relation to Joseph, please come forward. We need to track his movements. It's incredibly important. So if there is any information that you have, please come forward for us so we can follow that up. We have made several inquiries in relation to Joseph, and at this stage, following our inquiries, we don't believe that necessarily that the cyclone is part of his disappearance. However, we can't discount that. So until we get further information, we just have to, we will keep knocking on doors, and we will keep talking to people until we can locate Joseph. As far as the, I think probably our non-contactable people, just from me to you, if you have any information for us, for these people, please do come forward. In relation to our current operating environment here in Eastern District, as far as I know, the communities are very interested and aware of the situation around the crime situation. So I just want to reassure the community, our staff that are out there here in Eastern are, as I've said previously, are part of the community and working extremely hard and doing an exceptionally good job, talking to everybody they possibly can and providing that reassurance. Also, we have staff from out of town, which I'm very grateful for. We've got over 140 staff within the district, over and above our current numbers, which are a fantastic asset to us and are doing a great job. We also have Eagle helicopter that is still operating in our area and will continue to do so. The helicopter, people will see it flying. They are doing specific tasks for us, and they're certainly making sure that the communities are reassured. And if there is a job that they need to attend, they're straight there. And if they need to pick somebody up or get on top of something, they do that immediately. It's an excellent tactical equipment for us. Also, from our picture as it stands, we have currently in the last 24 hours had over 600 reassurance activities within our communities here in Eastern District. So that includes foot patrols, mobile patrols, in and about communities talking to people. We also have our mobile police spaces currently operating in the areas, and they're stopping and they're available to people to come forward if they've got something to report, especially if communications are still a challenge. Over the past 24 hours, we've arrested 15 people, though for a variety of incidents, including, there is matters of assault, there's shoplifting, there's breaches of bail, warrants to arrest. So this is our operating environment that we often operate in normally. So they are working through just picking people up as needed. And as I've said, I will not tolerate any criminal behaviour in our communities, and we will be on top of that as quick as possible and as efficiently as possible. So from me to our communities, please be reassured that we are across this. I know what our people are doing, and they're doing an exceptionally good job. We're working with our partners every day. We've been at community meetings, meeting with community leaders. We're doing everything we can, and we will continue to do that. For our rural communities, as we're gaining access, we are getting up into the rural communities, and there'll be more officers deployed into these areas as access becomes available. But we're working with NZDF in order to fly in and assist there. So thank you everyone, and look, please, our thoughts are still with the people that we haven't been able to contact, their whānau. It's really important. If anybody has information, please come forward. Kia ora.
Well, just make another special mention of Te Wairoa, our whanaunga up in Te Wairoa. We've been working hard to support our whānau up there, which are isolated because of the roading. But tātou o Te Wairoa, along with the iwi and the District Council up in Wairoa, have been supporting whānau up there. But we know that you are isolated. We know that things are tough up there, especially on the North Clyde side. But help is here. And from what I've seen up in Wairoa, you guys have got a good, well-coordinated response through CEDAM and the teams working up there. So kia kaha, kia mai, kia manawana.